So welcome back, Patricia. How are you doing?
Hello.
How are you
Very
doing?
good. I am ready for the interview.
Another round.
Yes.
Yes, very good. Because last time we had a bit of a general interview about you and the things you have been doing, and it was very focused on history.
Yes.
But then I thought I wanted to do another interview and then to focus on the didactics of you as a teacher. And this is actually the first video I'm doing like this with anyone. But it's a good starting point for doing more like talking to teachers and just asking for some experiences. And I think it's very interesting to talk about that because I guess
Yeah.
nobody really does to some extent, right? So
Yes.
I'm very happy to hear more about this, and you were also interested in doing it because you also need to be willing to talk about your teacher, you know yeah,
Yes.
your style, and you were willing to do that. And yes, you also told me you were working on a book about something like this,
Yes.
so I hope that was not a secret, but
No. No.
okay, fortunately.
No.
Yeah, I should have realized that earlier, but um, anyway, I guess some of the themes we discussed today will also come back in this book. So you have on the other way around, you've been already thinking about some things, and now I can ask you, and
Yeah.
then you already have some answers present because
I
you,
hope so.
yeah, but also because you've been doing this for a very long time. So I'm sure you can tell
Yes.
us a lot about how all of this went, and what your preferences are, and how you make people learn tango, pretty much.
Yeah. Let's say all started with this. You see, I was looking at a tango show and I thought that is very nice. And I would like to do it. And then I found a teacher. And then later on in 94, 95, I started to teach tango.
Yes.
Tango milonguero, the apilado style, the style of the center of Buenos Aires. Before I was teaching since 88, I teach also Tai Chi and Taoist yoga and Qigong. So the tango was something like an extension of this,
Yes.
because it was not the exhibition style, but the social dancing style. Yeah, this is, let's say, the beginning.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's your own work, right?
Yes, that's my
Yeah,
own
yeah,
work.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But I put it there because it's so easy to explain, yeah, how it was. It was looking like, wow, this I like. I
Yes.
like.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
didn't realize that it was a different thing from social dancing.
Yes, yes. I had the opportunity to learn with somebody who was teaching the social dancing style. So I felt that this is very near to the Tai Chi because you are listening, you are a little bit like meditating, you go into something, in this sense, into another person. You become one with the other person and something like this. So it was, I recognized it as a Tai Chi style, let's say like this. So,
Okay.
and the first, as I said in the first interview, the first students were a group of the Tai Chi students. So we all had the same approach to this tango.
Yes.
Mhm.
So can you maybe, I think you already repeated something from the last interview, but can you maybe
Yeah.
repeat some more like of the general, like how you became a teacher, like that there was no one else yet doing it? Just a short
Yes.
summary.
Okay. My name is Patricia Müller, and I live since more than 40 years in Florence, Italy. And I teach since 88 Taoist movements like Tai Chi Chuan and Yoga Taoista, Taoist Yoga and Qigong. And since 94, 95, also Tango Milonguero. And yes, my background is also studies of violin, piano, some singing, some ballroom, some ballet dance. I studied in Berlin for being an art teacher, so I had also to study 3 years of didactic, which I found later very helpful for my teaching. Yes, for my teaching, because didactic is a kind of communication method between not only from the teacher towards the students, but also to understand as a teacher what the students want or understand. So it's a bi-direction of communication, didactics. At least for me, it is like this. So, and also I saw the necessity to have a didactic style. This is also when you study this, because in Germany, when you want to become a teacher, you have to study. While you study your thing, you have to study also didactic, philosophy, and sociology. So 3 years. So if you know already something of the importance of didactic, this helps a lot. Yes. Yes. So this is my presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got into so you
do something different. I didn't do the art teacher. I like to paint, of course. Yes. But I'm not an art teacher, but I'm another kind of teacher. Yes.
Yes, but
And,
still, it's important that I've always seen like being good at something and teaching are two different things. So you could be the
yes.
best tango dancer, but if you aren't a good teacher, then it still doesn't make sense for you to teach. So you need to have an understanding of I don't know how to pronounce it in English, but like pedagogy or something like. So it's
how to teach, how to
yeah,
to make understand. Yes.
yeah.
This was, let's say, in a kind of way. For example, tango can be a method of self-improvement. Yes, because I often see that the people come, and after, let's say, 1 year, they are totally different. They dress different. They have a different approach to other people. They cure themselves much more. They are more healthy, or even they are more healthy, and they are less closed. So it's a really improvement. Yes. And
But I've never thought of it like that, but yeah, that's probably what happens, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I mean, if you want to go to dance, and in the end you want to go to dance, yes, you want to go to a milonga to dance with different persons, or also with only your partner. It doesn't care. Then you cannot go with a t-shirt. Yes, okay, maybe a teacher, yes, but I mean something like what you do when you go to a
When you're at
oh,
home.
sport. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
You
You
need to
even
dress
want
up in a way.
to
Yeah,
be a
yeah,
more
yeah, 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 yeah,
more attractive. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So this is especially for the elders. This is very important because
Sorry for the
for older people,
older
this
people.
is
Okay.
a bad thing to say. But when they come, they are often so like, we are old. No,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and later they see, wow, I can dance, and
It doesn't matter
I
how
can
old you are.
dance
Yeah, yeah, okay.
as somebody much more younger. So
Yeah,
they have a second life,
yeah,
really, or a third life. So this is really like I feel sometimes like a gardener, yes, where I take a little seed and then I put a little bit water, and then it grows, and then it blooms.
yes.
And it's wonderful.
This is also what I saw.
This
Sorry.
is really wonderful when you
Yeah.
teach, when you like to teach,
Yeah, this is something I saw in Harvey's interview.
Yeah.
That he said he became more social and more open because of
Yes,
dancing
I
tango.
remember. I
So
saw
this
it.
is
Yes, I
this is
remember. Yes,
yeah, this is the
yes,
same thing happening probably.
yes. Because when people go in retirement, often they think now life is finished or my value is finished. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
But then they start this, and it is really like, it's
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
It's really nice to see.
But do you also see it with younger people?
Yes, of course, because the younger people, they have another problem. I mean, they are often timid.
Yeah,
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 they
yeah,
are
yeah.
often timid. So I cannot know, please no. Or they become red or something. And then when they start, this is it's it becomes normal for them. So
Yeah.
they are much enthusiastic
I guess a
later.
thing in common in all these stories is that they have a certain lack of self-confidence, and then doing this
Yes,
helps
of
them.
course, because they are growing. I mean, this we all have. I mean, you are young, so you don't have this. But I think if you are, I had already students with 16, 17, 20, and often they are timid because they start to do their own thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's normal. Yeah,
maybe they are not so secure if this is good, not good, and they are really educated. And then with the tango, they can do this. Wow, they can go out. They don't go out for whatever, but they go out dancing, which is already something really. It is not a disco. I don't have anything against discos, but
oh, like
sometimes
yeah.
you know, I mean, you go dancing. You have a group with whom you can go dancing. So you, in a sense, when you are 16, 17, you are a little bit protected too.
Yeah,
Yeah. So this is nice too. When you have a little group. Later with 20, 21 or 18, they can do what they want. But when they have this really young age, it's nice to have somebody with whom to go to dance. Yeah.
yes.
Yes. So this is another topic. Younger and older. This can go very good together, even. No?
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah. So yeah, this is
yes. I'll help you a
Yeah.
bit with
Yeah,
the direction, because
yeah, please, please,
this is
please.
a very interesting topic, and I have some more things to say about it. But let's focus on the basics of your teaching.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe tell me a bit more first about, like, we were talking about the history, and then you gave a summary. But tell me a bit more about how your didactics developed.
Okay, as I said, I had the feeling that I need a didactic method, because only repeating what I learned or what I heard in a lesson, which I attended as a student, for me it was not enough.
You mean
Because
tango?
in tango, of course.
Yeah.
Because you have to know that the first that the milongueros who came to teach were exclusively or only not in a negative way. I say this not in a negative way, but they were mostly milonga dancers. They had no didactic or approach to how to teach, or at least to teach to not porteños.
Mm.
So to people who never heard something about tango music, at least not years and years in your childhood, in your youth, and we didn't heard it. You never saw for years and years and years somebody dancing tango. You had no training in the tango culture, but they taught tango as if we would be porteños. So in a way it was strange for them and strange for us.
Yeah.
No? Because we could not
Relate.
give them what they wanted, and they could not give us what we needed. So it was because they didn't do a linear lesson. For example, you have to imagine.
That's what you said right last time, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, they showed. Okay, they showed one step or figure, and while showing it more times, they did, let's say, 5, 6, 8, 10 variations of the same step, which was marvelous. But nobody could understand this, because for us, it was in the beginning like, oh, this is a new step. Only in the end, we realized, or you could realize, that this was always the same step. They didn't do it intentionally. For them, it was always the same step, but for us, not. This was, let's say, the difficulties of the first moments, at least in my history. So I felt that I needed something more regular, something more didactic, yes, a method. So
and to repeat, you were the first one to teach in Florence, so
yes,
you also had to build it up from the ground.
Yes, okay, you are right. I have to say that I was the first person in Florence to teach tango. So I could not even go to somebody and say, you teach me now, because there was nobody. Yes, let's say the method was that I said, okay, I do some tests, or at least, let's say, I start, and I do it still now, in every lesson, in every level, I do 4 things which precedes the study of figures and steps. First is a balance exercise, which makes your balance or your posture, that you can have a better balance, which betters this. Let's say 5 minutes, even 3 only. Then we do an exercise to better the connection between the 2 dancers. And then we do something for the rhythm and the music. And after this, we start to study the figures. Okay. So this was much better, because this was a more, let's say, an approach to tango for people who has no body sense, because not everybody has done sports or dances in the youth. So we have to create something. And on the other hand, also something with music, which is not clear that everybody has something, an education with music. And even if they have an education with music, it doesn't is secure that you can do it with your body. You see, if you are a good musician, it doesn't mean that you are a good dancer.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah?
it's only
It's
inside
of
your
course,
head.
no, it's of course. I mean, if you have already music education, it helps a lot, but it doesn't mean that you dance good right from the start. You have to learn it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Just like
so
almost everything in life. So
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. You have to learn it, and that's it. So with this, I started with these 4 things, and I introduced the little tests. And when I say this, everybody puts their hand in the hairs and says, "No, tests, no." But I propose the tests when the students have already surpassed the moment to do this test. So they have only to cope with emotions when they have to do the tests. Yes. So in these tests, which are free, because included in my system, so I don't want the money or whatever. So it's all included. You do a test about the balance, you do a test about connecting, you do a test about rhythm, and do a test about music.
But do you
And then you do a test.
But do you mean?
And then you do a test about a figure.
But do you mean? Oh, I thought maybe you meant before starting with lessons you had to.
Yes, but of course they have to have. They are inside the lessons. You have to study them.
But
you to do a test.
But you mean that is every lesson has the test?
Every lesson. No, not every lesson has a test every time. You have let's say after 3 months, you do a little test.
Okay.
The next test will be after a year. Yeah, it's really easy. It's really easy. It's just that I am secure that you have understand me, and that the student is secure that he had understood what he had to learn.
Yeah.
It's nothing more. And anyway, when you start in all, which is the thing, the important thing is that these 4 principles, let's say the fundamentals, basics, which is balance, connection, rhythm, and music. Every level and every time when you do a lesson with me, we do this every time. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And it's a little bit like putting something over something, you create something more. Of course, it becomes always a little bit more difficult, of course. If you are an experienced dancer, you have to do a balance exercise, which is more difficult than the one of the beginner, of course. No,
Okay.
this is, of course.
But you say to someone like, or is it dependent on the whole class? Like if the whole class is advanced, then they get harder tests, or are they all in the same class?
Okay.
It's a bit of a complicated question, but
No, I mean, normally I have different levels. One class, one level. Second class, intermediate. Third class, advanced. And they do this. Yeah?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm just trying to make sense of this whole situation. So it
Yeah,
sometimes I have
yeah.
to ask these questions to keep up.
Yeah,
with
yes. And after maybe 2 years, 3 years, the advanced do another test. It's not that every year one test. This is not, it's not so important, the test. It's only that they have to study a little bit more seriously. That's all.
Yes.
And normally they are happy because then it's clear what they have to know. That's it.
Okay.
No, nothing more, nothing terrible.
Okay. Okay.
It's just to do a didactic step, a level more, something like this. So, for example, okay. For example, when you do the excuse me, the balance exercise. For example, you put yourself on one leg and move the other forward, back and forth. You have this up, and this leg here is moving back and forth. And you don't have to do like this, and you don't have to do like this. You have to do like this, back and forth, without moving. And you have to grind on the floor. So you already study bailar al piso. No? This is immediately what you learn. You never lift up your leg again while you dance, because you have made this. Huh? Or for example, the connection is that you put your hands one to the other, of course together, two dancers in front of each other, and then they open the hands together, and they come together and they touch. You understand?
Yeah, it has to do with apilado.
Yes, apilado. Of course, not when you are not close embrace. When you're not dancing close embrace, you can do this too, but you have to stop before you touch. You go here.
Okay.
But of course, when you are not dance close embrace, you are not dancing like this. You dance always a little bit towards your partner.
Yeah.
No, so okay, and then the rhythm is you clap your hand while you hear the music. You clap the hand. You can also just tell, this is the orchestra, pa, 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 for example, D'Arienzo, with the singer Maure, and
Yeah, this is just a way to educate people.
43, yes. So
Yeah.
you have already said something, and the students, without having to study heavily, they study.
Yeah.
Or they learn.
Yeah.
So, and then you go alone with this clapping hand. You can do a double clap. You can do a pause.
Yeah.
You can do all this joking around with rhythm, with the music, and then you go together. You first have the didactic hold, and then the close or not close embrace, whatever you want. So this is, let's say, the four didactic fundamentals for me. And yeah, if, for example, if they go walking, you can also just already say, don't go zigzagando. No, don't go zigzag, but go with the ronda. What is a ronda? So you go counterclockwise. You don't surpass or push or bump in somebody else, and all this. This maybe it's not clear in the beginning, but if you say it, normally it's already learned. Huh?
Yes.
Because in a class, the people come to learn. If you would do this in a milonga, this would be terrible. Yeah. You cannot teach in a milonga.
No.
Yeah. This a class is the moment where you can teach. In the milonga, you go to dance.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and if you don't teach, if you teach in a light way, always something little more, another thing and another thing, then the people will memorize it. If you teach too much, then it's difficult. Teaching much depends, of course. If it's a group class which comes every week, then it's better to do little things. If you have a workshop, or in group, or privates, or whatever, then you can put much more things inside, because the people want to have much more things.
Yes, yes.
They come with a mental preposition to a private class or to a
Workshop.
Group class, workshop. They want to have much.
Yeah, but it's not always better, right?
No, it depends. It's two things, two sides of the same coin, as it's say. But when you do a group class, which comes every week, then it's better to give little.
Yes.
Workshops or privates are like a fertilizer of the plants, the fertilizer.
Yeah.
You cannot give a fertilizer every day.
No.
It will kill, it will kill the plant.
Yeah.
There you have to give little drops of water. But without a fertilizer, also this is not good.
No.
You have to have a right
Yes.
Huh?
So did you do this? Maybe I shouldn't interrupt your story, but I'm just very curious. Like, did you do this
Please.
right from the beginning, or did you learn it by failing? Maybe by
What?
doing too much in the beginning, giving them too much information, or did you know from the beginning that you wanted to do it like this, like the little bits of information repeated?
Now I teach nearly 30 years.
Do you understand my question or not?
Yes, of course, of course, of course. I'm thinking.
Okay.
I think after the first time, let's say after the first 6, 7 years, I gave much more, and maybe this was much disturbing. Yeah. I gave a little bit too much fertilizer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. So the people nearly stopped to develop
Oh, okay.
themselves,
Yeah.
because I see now that as a teacher, but also the students need time.
Yeah.
I need time. I like to give and I like to take time.
Yeah.
And in the not the first beginning, because there were not so many students. In the beginning, there was nobody. Later, after 6 years, there were much more students. And probably I was so enthusiastic that I teach, taught, but it was for maybe too much.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
this yes.
So it came later.
Yes, later I calmed down, and what the people could dance was much more interesting.
Okay.
Yes, because they developed.
Yeah. So I guess it's
So
better to slowly develop a few things that are important instead of having
yes,
a hurry
yes,
and
yes,
learning
yes,
a lot of things badly.
yes,
And that's
yes,
I think that's what students tend to be inclined to want. Like they are maybe only here in the Netherlands, but I feel like people really want to learn like fast, everything fast, not just tango. They want a very quick results, and they also want a lot of figures. And then sometimes as a teacher, I mean, I'm not a teacher, but this is what I've heard, that sometimes as a teacher, you want them to focus on the ronda, for example, on these basic things, but then they want the figures, and it's never going to
of
go.
course, of course. The
Yeah.
figures are very important. I like figures too, so you like them too, because only walking forward, it would be impossible.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but for example, I started with a didactic method. Let's say it's like a didactic motion system, which is a Lego-like system. I teach the forward, the backward, the side steps, and the pivot. Because as a leader, you have to lead your follower. You have to take with you the follower. You have to make her pivot and whatever. If this is okay, then we put these little things together. Huh? For example, a turning is made by a step and a pivot, a step and a pivot. No? Normally it's a forward step, a pivot, a backward step and a pivot, and then you are again in front. In front you are always, but you are again where you started.
Yeah.
As a woman, as a follower, I said this as a follower now. No, If you do not these little tiny steps, then also the figures are not good. Yeah. And another thing is for the leader, if it's made like this, studied like this, he can interrupt whatever he's proposing in the milonga, because maybe there is no space, maybe somebody is coming and is bumping on you, and you have to interrupt, and maybe you don't want to interrupt to be frustrated, but you just interrupt because you do something else, and this is a much better feeling, a positive feeling. And in the other way, if you go to a workshop or if you go to a class, with this method, this tiny steps, Lego-like method, you can memorize better.
Yeah.
You can memorize better. And this is also something, if you are into writing down the steps or just memorizing mentally the steps, this is perfect, no? So, of course, I mean, you have to know also what step you should not do. I mean, we all know that stepping backward against the ronda, you should not do.
Yeah.
So this is also something you should say, or at least if you have a more experienced group, you can say, okay, historically, it was not done in this way, but it was done in this way, diagonally.
Yeah.
How to say is towards the middle of the ronda of the hall.
Yeah.
Towards the center, it was in 45 degrees towards the center. It was done. So this can also be very interesting for dancers to know something about the history of the steps.
Yeah.
And while you are teaching steps, you can also teach these things too. Yeah, without making it too heavy. Yeah, you just say, okay, originally it was made like this. Or for example, there are steps which are okay for tango, milonga, and waltz. Maybe not for the most lyrically sophisticated ones, but for this more arithmetics things, they are very good, which are the walked steps, which are more archaic, which are one of the first tango steps we know, because it's done with shoes which are not very slippery, on the floor which was not very good, maybe in the courtyard, so it was more walked. And no pivot. So this you can do too. And everybody understands this. Now, this means also that the dancers will not dance the same steps in all three categories, which for me, it's terrible, because they reduce how to say, their possibilities, they reduce it. Yeah. And they will not have a dancing richness. And in the end, we all want to be in demand, no? They want to hey, take this girl or this man because he knows to dance. This is all different. It's exciting, If you dance in all three the same steps, oh Jesus, it's boring. Excuse me. It's terrible to say, but it's not good, yeah. And it's not. I mean, you cannot dance something which is good for the milonga in a slowly waltz.
No.
No. So if you can, while you teach or something, say also this, the students will have more pleasure to learn.
Yes, let's focus a bit on. So we talked about like the basics.
Yeah.
But so we already talked a bit about it just now, but like let's focus more on how to build up this vocabulary. Like you already said, like it's you don't want to be someone who only walks. You also need a certain vocabulary, right?
Yeah.
So how do you go on and do that in the rest of the lesson? Because I suppose you start with these basics, and then you have the rest of the lesson, and you probably focus on.
Yes, let's say it remains. Let's say for 30 minutes we study a figure or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, I decide what we do. Of course, I say, okay, today we do a turning, and then, okay, we do a candela, which later becomes a turning. And then again, a candela again, and then a turning again. Let's say something like this, okay? Then, of course, we study this. We study first maybe how to do the candela, and then how to do the turning. Let's say the candela like this, and then the turning, it's always in this direction as a man, as a leader direction. And then I have to put this together. And then we study how to put this together. Yeah? And how to go out of the turning to have again the candela.
Yeah.
This is normal teaching, I think.
Yeah.
And later, of course, we do a repetition. And then we put this together, maybe for the last 10 minutes, with the things which you know already.
Okay.
So 1 hour lesson, 1 hour lesson, not 1 hour and a half, 1 hour lesson.
Yeah.
3 minutes of balance, 3 minutes of connection, let's say 5 minutes of music and rhythm, then 30 minutes, 35 minutes of studying something, and then the rest is putting it together in your thing what you know already.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Because you have to do the repetition too. I mean, this is just normal didactic lesson, which you can find also in mathematics or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is because the students more than 20 minutes, 25 minutes, they cannot learn. This is normal.
Okay.
Just normal.
Okay.
So you have to do something, and then you focus on this new thing, and then you let them go. Yeah. and find how to put this new thing in the old things. Yeah.
Yes,
Of
because
course,
then
in the big, yeah.
you also
excuse
build
me.
up from every lesson. So you're not
Yes,
only building
yes,
up, you were saying like you give them these small bits every time and then you build up. You were referring to these 4 things that you, or 3 things that you do
yeah,
before the figure, but also the figures themselves are probably building up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's all together, all together. huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And of course, for example, if we come back to the candela, if you have done a certain exercise for the balance, then you can do something. You can remind who the girl, the
follower.
not leader, the follower. Thank you. The follower. Remember how it was. How it was. You know you have to balance and click. She remembers.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And this is which works very good. And then, excuse me a second, I have to go there because later, when we have, you know this.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember, no?
yeah,
Yes. Excuse me. Then, when you have a more experienced group, yeah, then you can do, okay, now we do not only these concepts of movement, of motion concepts, we do also a development of the movement, which is as if you play billiard. Then the leader is the one who gives the clack to the little ball, and this is going. And it is also a little bit like if he's doing like this, no, you see, and then let's hope that this will go. Then it's going, go. It's go. Oh, it doesn't want to go. It's going.
yes,
And only the leader can stop this because he has to stop it, or he wants to stop it, or it stops when it's finished the load. This is the follower.
yeah.
This is the leader.
It makes me think of the Giro, where you make the
Yes.
first step of the Giro, and then it's kind of, you're still leading the Giro, but it's also kind of assumed that you go in a certain direction. And if you want, you can stop it, or you can make another one, but you need, you do this all the time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is also which makes you dance many hours without being exhausted. Because if the leader has to put the follower in every step, always, then it's really tiring. But if he gives for example, the hero, you say it already, you give the initial movement, and then with her movement, she turns you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. She does it, and you just say, okay, till here, and then stop, or you let her finish this.
But is
I
there
don't
any
know how to.
is there any other maybe less obvious examples of that than a Giro?
Yes, you can do it also with ocho atrás.
Yeah, that was what I'm thinking of, because you need to wait for her to make the movement. Like you cannot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I felt yesterday that I felt like I wanted to hurry in the music, but I knew I couldn't, because she had to make the movement. So you know, that's just how it works. And if you're not
This
patient,
is also,
then
this is also important to study or to develop the connection. This connection, no? Which we do as a second fundamental.
yeah,
Because if you do not have a connection, then you cannot feel. I, as a follower, cannot feel what you want, and you, as a leader, cannot follow, and you will never know where my body, as a follower, is.
yeah.
So you want maybe to do something, but I'm not already arrived there.
Yeah.
So, no.
That's how you're reminded of that it's a dialogue.
Yeah.
That even though one person is leading, then the other person still has to execute the movements.
Yeah, the dialogue is also important for the steps, because if you remember, we talked also about the workshop things. No,
Yeah.
I do also workshops. So one workshop is the secrets of the tango steps, and you can also talk with steps, and it happened. So it happened also in Buenos Aires, at least in 2000 and something. You could see it, that the mordida, yes, the mordida, the foot of the girl in the middle, and he is so, is not done to a woman who is there with a partner.
Yeah.
It's that they normally know she is with a partner, or they look at this other man and then they do or not do it.
Yeah.
So you have to know also this.
But that doesn't really apply anymore, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I wonder. Yeah.
I don't tell you.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, there's a secret world there. Maybe.
Yeah.
You don't always know all the nuances of.
Yes, I think, anyway, I think there are some things which you learn or which you like to dance here, which you still cannot dance in all milongas in Buenos Aires. This I'm convinced it's still not so open, let's say.
Yeah, and nobody writes a book about it, so you don't always know, you know, what these things are. Like they're like these unwritten rules that are like with everything there. Like, for example, how important it is to have reserved tables in Buenos Aires, and how much importance there is attached to that's one seat is your seat. I mean, I had a very strange experience once that I was talking with someone who was sitting one seat like not one seat away, but like there was one seat in the middle that was empty, and we were like that distance apart. And then some man who was a bit crazy, probably, like he got very angry because I was talking over his seat or something, like really strange. But you know, that was an extreme example. But even normally, like, it's really important there, and maybe not every listener knows, but it's very important there what your seat is, where it is, what the value of the seat is, and that's just something that's impossible in Europe. So that's, and nobody really like there might be some thing written about it on some blogs, but it's not like, you don't have a general overview. There's no Bible about all these unwritten codes. So we don't always know. Maybe you probably know more about it than I do, but you are not an Argentine either, even though from the name I always thought you were Argentinian, because it's like Patricia and then a German name, and I was like, she must be from Buenos Aires or something, but no, it was not the case. But that aside. Sorry?
let's say when you go there
Yeah,
and they don't know you, you are in the third row behind.
yeah.
If you have a month, then maybe you come and you dance well, you know how to do it, they invite you, then probably you will come to the second row.
Yeah.
But it is not said that when a seat in the first row is empty, in Europe, you would go there, yes? You would say, okay, I go there, I sit there, oh, wow.
No.
There no, otherwise.
The funny thing is, like, I think the first time I experienced that, I just kind of just went with it. Like, it was very natural and normal. It's just I don't know why, but it's just that, like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. It's just you think it's strange to you because it's new, but it's always also just something you adapt to, because you know, if you go to yeah, I don't really know a very good example, but you know, if you go to some other culture, then there are some things you have to adapt to, because otherwise people will think you're rude or strange, or
Yeah.
so for example, in Japan, like when you try to shake someone's hand, I mean, that's something they don't do, and they usually bow, and when you try to do that as well, then I think that they might understand you doing the things, that they will have an understanding like why you do the things you do, because you're not Japanese, but they will appreciate it if you also do as they do, like that. So well, anyway, let's get back to the topic. About we went here from the foot locker. I don't remember the name.
Yes, the Modida.
The bite. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, one of the topics of a workshop could be all the things which you cannot do, should not do, better not to do in the typical milongas of Buenos Aires. So nobody will see you immediately as a tourist. Of course, they know you are a tourist, but they don't see immediately that you are a tourist, for example. Or, for example, also something, and this is okay for the followers or timid leaders, how not to remain too long sitting. This is self-promotion, how to do it. This I did several times in Germany and also in Italy. And it has to do with body promotion, with how you dress, how you sit, what kind of perfume you use.
Yeah, so the point is, like, you're not always conscious of the things you're doing wrong. Or
Yes. So it's a real training of how to do it to be seen.
Yeah.
You can also decide the opposite, of course. Can also decide the opposite. For example, as an organizer, sometimes it's better the opposite. So you are outside of everything and you can organize better, for example. No?
Yeah.
Or as a teacher, I cannot go as a teacher, in very, like if I go to a milonga and I want to dance and to be seen. As a teacher, you have to, at least for me, you have to be a little bit more calm, that the people, that you can bring them inside the lesson without hesitation or feeling bad. It has to be a little bit more low presence. Under how to say, it's yes, that you are not too aggressive. Yes. Or For example, also per experienced dancers, I have all a program like how to dance erotically interesting.
Okay.
This I say also to the beginners. This is, yes, because it's not if you show much or not, this is not, but if you dance together or inside your partner, it's felt different as if you dance only outside. No?
Yeah.
You do a figure outside, and it can be very nice, very showy, yes, but it can say to the partner, maybe it says nothing because it's too outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it better.
Yeah.
Maybe you know better to explain it, but so this is, for example, something which I propose as a workshop for experienced dancer. Of course, they have to dance something, because
Yeah.
we will not study a step, we will study something different.
Yeah. That's why there are workshops, right?
Yes, for example. No? Or for example, when you start so and you do a turning, then you see you touch much more. Then you open again. When you turn and the other is going away, you see, then it's no good. If you turn, you touch more to the side, the whole side. Not only here you are turning and, for example, this. Or, yes. Or for example, also to dance in the opposite role. This also is a good experience.
Yeah, excellent.
Because it makes you realize the difficulties of the others.
Yeah.
The difficulties of the others, and you become more nice.
Yeah, more lenient, maybe. Yeah.
Yes. And it's also for teachers. This I would recommend.
What do you mean make people do that? To make people experience the other role?
No, that the teacher should dance both roles.
Like that. Yeah. I
Yes.
think that's a fundamental thing, and a lot of people don't, but I do. And
at least, yeah.
I really like the especially as a leader, like understanding what I lead and how that feels.
Yeah.
And in a lesson, I like it when private lesson, but I like it when I don't understand some things, then I can feel it the other way around. So the roles are reversed, and I can, like, that's very helpful. And yeah.
Today it's accepted. This years ago, you could be mobbed for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, people. A lot of people are stupid, unfortunately. So.
Anyway, in Buenos Aires, all the women, it was like this. The woman danced with the woman and the man with the man. Only when they could dance quite nicely, let's say not perfect, but quite nicely, then they could go to a milonga. They would not have studied from nothing to something in a group, mixed group.
No.
This, at least several of the viejos milongueros told me this. They started with a stick, even with a stick.
Yeah.
and later they went to a milonga. But learning from nothing to something with a woman, it was not felt good.
No.
Absolutely. Mhm.
So maybe in the remaining time, I would like to add something about ask something about how this so like it's a multidisciplinary question, like how did all this Tai Chi and also being, you're also a body therapist, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah, so how did this influence your tango teaching style? I think maybe we already talked a little bit about that, but if you have
Yes.
something interesting
Yes.
to add, then I would like to
Yes.
hear it.
Yes. Let's say as a body therapist, I'm a muscle therapist and a postural therapist too. One of my topics is being healthy, stay good, cure the posture, eliminating every kind of vice, postural vice, thinking also about when you have pain, where it comes from. For example, first aid should be a topic for all teachers too, also for tango teachers too. And I have to say you that I saved a life because in my own milonga, because it was clear for me that was not a drop of sugar, but something very, very important. So this should be learned too. The thing of Tai Chi is that I always wanted to listen the other person when I dance. Maybe I was not, in the beginning, I was not able to do this because, of course, you think too much about yourself. You have to learn to do posture and leading and following and this and this and this. You are full of things.
Yeah.
Or even when you learn a new figure, you are full of things. But later, this listening to the other person very deeply, this is comes probably from the Tai Chi in heritage, let's say something like this.
Yeah.
And also that I treasure very much the small things. I'm happy with small things.
Like small progress, you mean, in people, like
small progress, but also I don't have to dance a flashy dance. If I have to, maybe I can try, but I don't have to.
Yeah, so it's like minimalism in a way.
Yes, I treasure the small things.
Yeah, that sounds like Taoism.
Yes, yes. I'm happy with this. And more the older I become, this is terrible to say, but it's true. The more I treasure this, and the more I treasure when people, when dancers dance with the music. When we can merge together into the music. This is fantastic for me.
Yeah.
This is really fantastic. Yes. I don't have to I'm not a dancer. Okay, I'm not a dancer which dances like a mirror. What the leader wants me to do. Okay, let's say if you can imagine the couple Carlitos and Noelia. You have the style of them. There was the first couple I saw where she danced what I had always learned before, that between point A and point B, the woman can do what she wants. Yeah, she has to be there, and she has to be there. No, and this I saw in this. She does many things, but she is always together with the leader.
Yeah.
No, so for example, this I like too.
Yeah.
I'm not, as I said, a dancer who is, you do me this, I do this, and then you do me this, and I do this. I do something if I have time, and if I have energy, and if I want, I can also do something more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But only if I can do it. If I cannot do it, because of the longer it's full, because I have no energy, because I'm a little bit tired, so I'm not sure if I arrive in the same time with you at the point B, then I don't do it.
Yeah, or if the leader doesn't give you any space, because I feel like some, well, I don't feel like, but I've heard from women that some men really dance alone, and it's hard to make it a conversation in a way.
Like, yes, this conversation, for example.
Yeah.
You said it. Okay, a conversation. Yes, that's okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, a conversation. This is that's what now I really treasure.
Yeah.
A conversation. Do a conversation.
It's a very advanced concept in a way. It's simple, but it's also complicated.
It's a conversation and not a monologue.
Monologue.
It is not that you say something and I say yes.
No. Yeah.
We dialogue. So you say something and maybe I say something different, but we talk together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. But you have to start with little words.
Yeah. Yeah, because you cannot do all of this at once. Like it needs to develop over time.
Yes.
And
so you you need time.
Yeah. So you also give your students the time.
Yeah.
Like you want them to take the time as well. You need them to take the time, and then they grow.
You have to educate to treasure time. You have to educate to treasure time, which is not easy today. Today, less than in the beginning, it is easy.
Okay.
In the beginning, it was more easy.
But is that because people are less patient, or what do you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like this is the age of the smartphone and the distractions everywhere. So people find it harder to concentrate on one thing. Yeah.
I don't know. But today it's less easy to make people treasure time. It's strange because if they have no time, they should treasure time.
Yeah.
No? If you have no money, you treasure money. If you have no time, you should treasure time. But it's not like this.
no, no.
So we will see.
Yeah. But I'm sure you will keep going and learn even more yourself about how to do this for the rest of your tango teacher life.
Yeah.
So it keeps evolving in a way. That's a very interesting thing, because some people can be in this for very long, but they'll still develop new sometimes things just click, and then they whatever. But I feel like that's something I can see in your story, that you're still learning in a way. You're open to
Yes, you have to learn. You have to learn. I am a very convinced student.
Yeah.
I like to study. I have now a connection with somebody who is doing tango with Parkinson, and I will evolve also in this, which I feel very connected with my story. Yeah, I mean, I'm a massotherapist, I'm a postural therapist, and this and this and this. So I feel prepared.
Yeah.
Because in my tango teaching, I do also involve kinesiology, and biomechanics. So I can explain, because, okay, as a teacher, you should explain very good the things. Because if you explain very good the things, most of the people understands. Then you should make them see the things. You do it practically, you dance what you have explained.
Yeah.
No? So these things like biomechanics and kinesiology helps a lot, because you can say, if you move this, then it moves this and this and this. And this would be another possibility of tango, to cure people with tango.
Yeah.
Also to open them while leaning the two hearts together. I had once a student, he was a little bit traumatized when people came too close. So you can imagine what it is when you go to embrace a close embrace. He was really like, oh no. And in all these years, now he is a normal dancer.
Okay.
So this is another frontier which is not so explored till now, but it will.
Yeah, and having the multiple disciplines really helps with this, because then you can take knowledge from other factors.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think I've heard before that, I don't know from whom, but that a lot of tango teachers are very interested in like how the body works in a certain way, like in a technical way, like they're really interested in that. Like I cannot paraphrase this very well, because I don't remember the exact context, but the point is that there was something also missing, like some interest in some factors that maybe should be studied more, like maybe illness or And
of course.
There's always space, room for. So I'm not criticizing any teachers, but there's always
of course
for everyone. There's room for learning more. Also, about other
Of course.
other fields and then apply it in this. So but I guess I'm
It
just
is a method. It
yeah.
is a method.
Yeah,
So why not use it for others?
yeah.
Mm.
So I have to leave it here for today.
Okay.
So thanks a lot for telling us a
Thank
bit
you
more.
for your patience.
Yes, yes, and
Thank you.
yeah, it was a lot of fun to hear more about you as a teacher, and like always, it's fun. Like you said that there are. You said about the figures, like there are some things probably everyone does, like every teacher you use a certain, but then when you actually talk to the teachers, you'll also find out new perspectives just from talking to them, even though they might be doing similar things to others, but their experience is always different, like, because every individual's experience in the world is different, and you get new insights from just this life experience of this person, and yeah, that's just really interesting, and that's also why I want to keep going with this, because it's very enriching. So thanks for today, and well,
Thank you.
hope to meet you.
It was a pleasure. That was a pleasure.
Yeah, I hope to meet you somewhere in real life. Who knows? But
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, bye.